Thank you. Huh? I would never in a million years comment on someone's work. Stress. Have a t-shirt.
Stress about it, right? I was thinking of stress about it.
Yeah.
Proud of myself that I remember. Proud of you. I know. I'll hold it until you need
It's not
to
the
get it.
same, but it's.
So I learned long ago, it's the content of the character, not what you wear, that matters.
Better than nothing.
It's not appearance, it's heart.
Alan Knapp was a perfect example of that. They used to make fun of him though, you remember? Yeah. I mean,
Good morning, Alex.
make fun of him.
How are you today? How was the weekend? Good dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
No, we do so much. Stop. So I can bring it up.
How's the fingers?
It's okay.
Good?
Yeah.
He does our thoughts and everything about this, so it is.
Yours.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
After you got rid of that.
Fingers are not good.
That's my benchmark for, are you a good employee? Anything above that, I'm good with. You know, you know. How's it going? I couldn't. I never got that. I never got that.
I'm ready to get back to work.
I don't think I'm
Okay.
good.
Very.
But
Okay, welcome everyone. We do have a special meeting after this meeting at 1 o'clock, as everybody knows, with Insight, so get through this and then move on. Madam Clerk?
Lisa Denafio, Blair Clerk. Mr. Malloy.
Here.
Mr. Bernard.
Here.
Mr. Hernandez.
Here. Okay, so one announcement, the commissioners do have a special meeting next Tuesday. And due to a scheduling conflict, we were looking at moving that meeting from 10:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. I don't know if you have any comments to that now.
Yeah, Julie, what do we have on the agenda for planning commission next week? Because that would mean we wouldn't be planning.
Right, and that'll be the second planning commission due to other conflicts that we missed.
Not able to make it or not able to make it.
It's important.
We weren't able to have it for last month.
So not,
No, but when plats come before the planning commission, you have a certain amount of days to approve it. If they are not voted on, then they are statutorily approved. But we don't have anything on the meeting that we, would want or need. We'll vote on, per se, but I don't anticipate not that. That's what I mean. That's only happened one time, so. Don't think it's an issue if you're not able to do that.
oh, what do you think, Commissioner? I hate to miss planning, especially 2 months in a row.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you wanna go there, then you are at a commitment and then come back here. Although we don't know how long we're gonna be fighting for the other one, that's the real problem. That could be a couple hours.
If that were the case, that would put us back here at possibly 2 o'clock, 2:30 or.
What time do you have the other commitment? I have it on my schedule, 1 o'clock.
No, 11:45, I thought. I thought 11:45.
I have it for 1 o'clock. And if it's a 1, there's no.
Yeah, if it's at 1, there's no problem.
I'm check.
Is it?
I thought it was 11:45.
Is that in an email?
That's what I'm gonna check right now.
Commissioner Bernard, you got an email, correct? I don't think I received it. Aaron? Yeah, but actually, sure. I notice a lot. That's my job.
Red. It's a C profile.
Okay, do you want to, maybe let's move with the meeting?
1 o'clock. It says 1 to 1:45, so it looks like 11:45 with a
Maybe,
little dash in the middle of it.
So the workshop.
so then we could scratch that.
Yeah, we could be done with the workshop by 12:15 and we're out of here at 12.
Good?
Okay.
Everybody good with that? Commissioner Bernard?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we'll just scratch that. All right. Okay, agenda item 1 is to dispense the reading of the minutes of the workshop on July 29, 2025, and the regular meeting, July 30, 2025, to dispense reading of the minutes of the special meeting that was dated July 29th and July 30th of 2025. 3 approved bills. 4 approve additional appropriations submitted by the auditor. Dates of July 24th through July 30, 2025. If there's any questions with any of these, but 5 approved transfer appropriations submitted by Trumbull County Auditor's Office, July 24, July 30, 2025 is listed. 6, I have Mr. Slawinski here. For the fairgrounds.
Mike Selinsky, Trumbull County Building Official. Commissioners, this is a recurring problem we have at the fairgrounds. These are 3 small sheds used for ticket booths that were purchased by the Fair Board. The question is, who's going to pay for them? Barry couldn't be here, he's on vacation. So the solution that we have is that these would qualify for through the ARPA program for the as ticket booths. And there's the residual money that was left over from the 4-H building. We had allocated $450,000, sorry, $850,000 for that project. And then we had generated an MOU with the residual monies to be used for things like the pig pen, the poles, the PA system. So we would like to use that money to pay for this outstanding PO in the tune of $25,298 for these small ticket booth sheds.
Yeah, those are going to be used next year and the years to
Yes,
come. So-
Yes, yeah,
And these all fall under commissioners under the ARPA program, so there's no issues with that. And I don't have any issue with it.
And you, Sheriff Taylor, Commissioner's Office, you asked me to check with them about how much money they had. They had like 500 and some $1,000. And they still had to pay, the ride people like $150,000. So that's all they were gonna have left. There were some other outstanding bills from the actual fair. So that's all they had.
I don't have a problem with it as long as it's legal that we can do that.
Well, we did approve actually in the last thing when we told them they can use the money up to the 850, I believe it was.
Yeah.
They had talked about doing something the grandstand entranceway area, some type of pavilion, and they brought up the sound towers, which we approved and already paid for. And these buildings were part of their master plan of things that needed done at the fair. So, I mean, I don't see a problem with using the ARPA money for that. I mean, that's kind of what we told them they could. Now, we didn't see the invoices and stuff as they came in. That was, I think, an oversight on our maintenance department head who at that time that did the negotiations and the ordering and all that stuff and never presented it back to us on what the price was, but we did give them authority to do that with the last board.
Yeah,
And the money's there.
money's there, it's ARPA.
And we will not be using general fund.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mike. Beth is here. And, to receive the place on file June 2025 monthly financial report for Trumbull County Tourism Bureau as submitted by Beth Carmichael, who's here, the Executive Director of Trumbull County Tourism. I don't know if you have something you'd like to discuss, Beth?
Nothing really, just a report that we completed that Liberty and Girard Economic Development Tour at the end of July. We had about 20 people on the bus for that. And it was very successful. Last Friday, we finished did the Morning at Mosquito Lake event. We had 80 people in attendance for that. Today, we've been pitching Mosquito Lake. Actually, there's a website called fishingbooker.com. And Mosquito Creek Lake is going to be noted as one of the top 10 best fishing lakes for Labor Day weekend. So we're working on public relations for that. We've been bringing in influencers, mainly food influencers, Food in Cleveland, Crave Clee, Anna Eats Pittsburgh. So we've got a lot of influencers that have been coming in this last couple of months and just showing them all the sites. So
There was saw on the internet the other day, there was a guy went to the Korean barbecue on 422,
yeah.
and he's all over the internet, him and his daughter. Did we have any part in that, or did he just
Is
have
that
to share?
Germany? Is that pizza reviews or? was
No,
that
no pizza.
food?
This is a bald guy, mustache, goatee with his
He's going
daughter.
with his son. I think he's
yes.
going with his son.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it was a great review. When I looked at it, it was professional. It was almost like a Guy Fieri type of thing. And
Yeah,
I've seen the guy all over Ohio.
yeah, we haven't really reached out to him yet. We have pretty strong relationships with Youngstown Pizza Review and Mahoning Valley Food Guru groups. Actually, they were just, last night was Hot Peppers and Oil Night at the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. They were judges there for that. So we saw that, but we haven't really reached out to them yet.
He did great. He made that Korean.
And a lot of
food look
that-
fantastic.
Yeah, he did a great job. A lot of those influencers, when we bring in, they are paid. They're paid promotional activities. So I don't think what he did was, but we looked at all of
Great job, Beth. You do a wonderful job with the
Thank you.
tourism department. I know there's a lot of envy in other areas. And they would like to have you jump on board, but I don't think you're going anywhere, right?
that. Not today.
What's that mean? Not today. I didn't expect that.
Gotta
Come on,
keep you
man.
guys on your toes.
You ever hear the question, if you know the answer, don't ask.
Don't ask. My dad had that
Alright.
philosophy growing up as well,
Don't wanna know, don't. No, I'm kidding.
especially.
Okay, I don't, we don't have any representation from the engineer. Oh, I'm sorry, Gary. Yes. you're
The other
suit.
Gary.
Yeah, one of the many
Gary's
Garys.
out of town.
The other Gary sits over there,
Have
so
I seen you in a suit? You wear it every day? Cause I
I
haven't
would
seen
buy a
you.
jacket every day.
I
Okay,
don't think I've ever seen without one.
well, that goes to show you, right?
Yeah, where you been?
All right, Gary, if you'd like to introduce yourself and
Yeah, I think everybody knows me. I'm Gary Teneri with the County Engineer's Office.
just for the, you know,
Chief Deputy and the Office Administrator.
you want to read through the agenda items? Usually Gary does, or I mean,
Well, no, you can go ahead, yeah.
okay.
They're all
Okay.
pretty, those permits and the right-of-way approvals are pretty standard.
Right,
We do have some roadway items, a couple pages on where we're awarding some projects.
okay, so, agenda item 8 is concur with Trumbull County Engineer to grant special supplier fleet permits for fleet vehicles, those listed here, not to exceed 80,000 pounds. 9, Trumbull County Engineer grant right-of-way permit requested by these companies listed here. 10, Lisa does a better job of this, but I'm trying. Usually Gary does it. 10, to concur with the Trumbull County Engineer to grant special hauling permits for these steel coils on Trumbull County roadways, for Bureau of Transportation. 11, to concur with the Trumbull County engineer to close the following roadways. Beltwick was done, I know that. North Levitt Road, Berkeley Messerly Road, Hewitt Gifford Road, York Street. Well, forward the spot and responsible bid submitted by Shelley and Sands for the True King Graves Road project in the amount of $851,721.86. Enter in an agreement with Shelley and Sands for the said project. The improvements include the resurfacing of King Graves Road, which is good. That's needed done for quite a while. Engineer's estimate was $1,040,862. And other bids submitted were Carrilla and Carvo. So we came in under bid, correct?
Yeah,
Gary?
yeah, that was a good price.
Pretty-
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
strong.
That's a nice project, all the way from 46 to 11.
Right.
Resurface that.
And finally, 13, award bid, only bid submitted by Frank Martuccio of Asphalt Paving for the year 2025 road rehabilitation program in the amount of $548,945.50.
Yeah, those came in pretty good too, although there was just one bidder.
Gary, can you give your name though when you speak, please? Just for.
No, this is Gary Tenary with the engineer's office. Yeah, that's for two roads. Up in Farmington Township that really need done. And that's the construction where we go in and we grind up the existing asphalt road, which there isn't much there, but we grind it up and make base out of it. We add something to it. And then once we get that, get a slope on it, and then we chip and seal, double chip and seal on top of that. And we're only going to do one project this year. We might be able to do both of them. We're going to see how our finances work out here in the next couple of months. We've heard that the state's giving a little more gas tax to the county, so might be a little bit of additional revenue. So.
Good, thank you.
Those roads actually are right in the middle of the state wildlife area up there. We get a lot of tourists from, especially the Cleveland area to Pheasant. That's where they stock the pheasants, and through the fall, it's a lot of traffic.
Okay. You have 14 Planning Commission, Julie Green's here.
Julie Green, Plan Commission. The item 14 is regarding the release of funds for the second RPIG we received this year for the Crane Drive Sanitary Sewer Project. And this is just a requirement of the environmental review process. So we applied earlier this year for another grant. So this is the second one. So to date, we've received 1.5 million for our sanitary sewer projects through the CDBG RPIG. Thanks for sharing the announcement about CDBG. On a related note, they're having meetings throughout the state to discuss the future, given the proposed elimination of the program. So it's something we're in. We'll keep you updated as we learn more information. Item 15 is to approve the proposal from Valley Title. It's a $200 charge for the full title of lien search. Our office is working closely with the land bank on one of the 5 properties found to be in violation through the 2020 FEMA audit to move forward with the mitigation activities associated with the audit requirements and FEMA requirements. As you know, our office is the administrator of the floodplain rules and regulations on behalf of the commissioners. And I believe our office has provided all the information to share, correct? Do you need anything else from us on that? No. Good.
Thank you, Julie. On to 16. You're you, Brad?
Gary Newbrow, sanitary engineer, commissioner on item 16. This is a house connection up in the Yankee Lake village area. And it is a change order. When we did the original scope of work for the house, went into the basement, it shows pipe going into the sidewall. Talking to the homeowner, said, yes, this is where we discharge. Find out later that once it went out that wall, then it went down into another pipe, and then it manifolded with another effluent pipe in the rear of the house. So we had to extend this lateral, this side of the house all the way around the back. And it increased the length of the trench from 69 feet to 115, which is 46 feet. So original 69 feet, and add another 46 feet to it. Trench and pipe, 9 yards. Anyway, we negotiated a price with Express Underground. He was asking over $5,000 for that extra work. We were able to negotiate them down to 3,000. So anyway, that's what the change order is.
So on ARPA, we paid to have it connected all the way to houses too, not only put the lines, but connect them all the way to the house.
Yes, that was the slap program.
Right, but did SLAP pay for it or did ARPA pay for
Slap is our fault.
it? Okay.
Yeah, you can see the word slabs. Slap houses.
Julie Green, credit to Gary Schaefer for coining the term slab
Okay.
back in the early 2000s. Sanitary lateral assistance.
Okay, so that's not a separate state grant program or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Usually when you got acronyms like that and you capitalize them, it's CDBG or some, it's coming from funds, so that's where.
all Schaefer.
Gotcha.
So this is still ARPA.
Yes.
Yes. Item 17. This is Jordan Drive, sewer project. And we opened the bids on that. Right, made it on here. It was a couple, it was a couple weeks ago, I don't have the exact date here. Anyway, you can see that the engineer's estimate was 659, 725. And we came in at 628, 292. This includes the main line. The household connection. So we're at 628, 292. It is costs are being shared through various funds. And the school itself contributed 231,231. The RFP grant for Sheridan was 437.69. And we are going to use the remaining amount of the slab allocation in the amount of 75,772.60. For the household.
I have to check the order.
We went over it many
I'm
times. and
gonna
that's
do
why-
it again. I'll do it
Okay.
like 20 times before.
That's why this took maybe a couple of weeks. to
It's
get
okay.
this in was to calculate. that
But you
number
increased
right
the
there.
other one, but the other one was a
Yeah,
minus
we
on
had
the
to-
8,000.
We had to know how much Sugar's Express Underground change order was
Yeah.
gonna be, probably finalize
Yeah.
that number here, so.
Yeah.
It should add up right to 600,000.
Right.
All right.
I will verify that.
Before tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And moving on to 18. Terry, this is you again?
Oh, Bob will take these next.
Okay.
Bob Maiorino, sanitary engineers. Number 18 is to accept the resignation of Ms. Bethany G. Artis from her position of utility account clerk 2, which is a billing position. Today is her last day. She got a job.
More money.
Number 19 is to accept the resignation of Mr. Nicholas Clark from his position position of plant maintenance worker at our Mosquito Creek wastewater treatment plant. This was effective, his last day was August 1st. He got a position with the.
Can't hear you, you want to speak up?
I said Nick got a job with the Turnpike Commission. Paid significant.
How long was?
Yeah, my only question is, they submit their letter of resignation, why are we getting them on the day that they're leaving or that they already left? I mean, they probably give you what, a 2-week notice?
For the most part, I was on.
I would hope that we would get that early on.
Commissioners, I know you're looking at me. I did not get either of these, so they would have went directly to, if they would have came to me, I would have put them on.
Yeah.
But no, I did not get them until Bob was on vacation for 2 weeks.
I was on vacation. These came in when I was.
Well, but someone has to bring the letter in. I mean, if someone submits a letter to your office.
Commissioner, does it really matter though? We're gonna say, no, you can't quit?
No, but we can start the process maybe of replacing them, is the thing. All right,
And you're correct, Commissioner, and that's, I did. That. So I, two of the jobs I posted last week before the meeting.
I mean, we just need to know when it happens, not after the fact, so we can move on. If these are replacement jobs, these aren't new jobs.
And both of these positions are currently posted.
And these are union bid outs first option.
Yeah, so they're posted and looking for replacement.
We potentially have people from the union.
Items.
All right, Commissioner Gary Newbrow, Secretary Engineer, in that same vein of reasoning here, Chuck Miller, he did turn in his letter of resignation this morning, and I have it.
Yeah, I think we got it.
It's dated August 5th, okay, yeah, he did email it,
Mhm.
What date?
August 5th, all his,
That's today. Oh,
last effective
September
date
5th.
of work is September 5th.
And we got that in hard copy too.
Well,
I don't have
You didn't have that?
Today.
I still don't have it
We
done.
just received it.
If somebody could,
I'll-
yeah,
Here, you can take this.
What we talked about.
I totally get it, but I just wanna
Yeah,
make sure,
all
I mean, if I don't have it, I don't have
correspondence-
it, so,
All
thank you.
correspondence, she should have, HR should have.
We knew it was coming, but know it's coming and actually having it are two different things.
Bill's not here. This is authorized. Sally's. Oh,
Yeah, I thought
Um,
Bill Danza was gonna be here to speak to item number 20, but it looks like typically in the past, this was presented by the sheriff's office. And we've been working with Leiden Oil on this, and they've been fantastic to work with. We've had them for what, over 10 years?
They've been the only bid in the last 2 years that I've
Yes.
been here.
Yes. So, Bill Danzo did check this out and he said it is time to go out to bid. Yeah. So, we're getting on to it.
okay. So we'll move on to item number 21. You want this?
No, just this real quick, commissioners, Bob or Alex Stephen Jones, Bush Juniors, which is fine, are you, I guess this is where I'm just wanting to make sure we're on the same page. Are you submitting this to be put on this agenda or next week's agenda? Okay, all right. thank you.
That's what I was. gonna
Gotcha.
say.
I think sometimes we put the cart before the horse, so we need to try to continue to. Thank you. Well, that's why. It's not a resignation.
It's not, it's a
Right,
retirement.
that's why
I don't know why.
we'll talk, but I need to have these things. It's not a resignation. It's way different. And it matters for overs and cash out and all of that, so. No, I was just talking.
Good. Okay. So we'll move on to agenda item 21, to reappoint Ms. Laura Domrodovich as the Director of Youth Programs for Trumbull County Mental Health Recovery Board. She's a specialist for Trumbull County for the Ohio Children's Trust Fund. And this would be reappointment for 2 years, two consecutive 2-year, for 2 consecutive terms. This April?
Yes.
Here.
Okay, just a wording question. The last line, it says she can be reappointed for 2 consecutive terms.
Right.
So
Should be
this would be
appointed.
it.
So-
This would be it. This-
Right, but it should say appointed. Reappointed would be 2 terms after her first term. So it's just a grammatical thing there. She can be reappointed for 1 term, but she can be appointed and then reappointed. But she can't be reappointed for 2 terms.
So we want to
I'll
omit
add
the
that.
re?
Yeah.
Omit the re. Okay. Now, that's our agenda items, commissioners. We do have some subject matter, I think. One, we were to get some word back from the prosecutor on 911 lease agreement. Do you know has anybody heard?
So when he was here, I talked to him last week and he said, "Oh, this gonna make it his top priority to have that course, but we don't pop in."
Be nice to know what we need to do in that, to move forward there.
I know he was researching it on Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Budget talks.
Before we do that, Commissioner, one thing I noticed on the internet, there's a lot of things out there still that aren't right. And especially regarding ARPA money. All that ARPA money stuff that was spent by the last board, the board before that, was done at the meetings, at workshops, public hearings that we actually had for ARPA money, a portal that people could submit to. And every week, Ms. Yoder would bring updates and forms for those things. It's all public. Everything about ARPA, every penny of ARPA was done in public. There was some stuff I saw on the internet, people saying, commissioners still hiding where they spent the ARPA money. Commissioners need to release where they spent it. Every single meeting is on the internet. Every single meeting is documented. I would like to ask again, I know I said it before, and we had bits of it before, but all the ARPA money we spent, we had wonderful spreadsheets that were done by the auditor's office and by Shara. Put on the internet so people can see every penny. So the rumors that are out there that, last night I saw something just outrageous that had nothing to do with the truth. And I think we can clear it up simply by just put the ARPA money, put the spreadsheet on the internet, let the people see it. Let them see, here's what was submitted, here's all the approvals we did. And it's easy, we have it. We already have it there. We just need to scan it and put it there for people to see. If they don't want to do the work and look, well, parts of it is. When you look on there, there's only like 10 or 12 of the projects when I checked like yesterday, and then it stopped. It only had like bits and pieces of it.
You just have to, commissioners, it's a downloadable PDF too, which is really
Right.
important. So if you download that PDF, all of the projects are there. So you might just be getting that first page.
Check and see, because when I checked it yesterday on the phone, I only saw it with this person. Apparently I saw on the internet, and they were bitching about it on the internet that everything was done in private. Why are we not disclosing the ARPA figures?
Not one thing was done in private.
Not one thing, it's all been done at this table or at the bench up there.
What I kind of have issue with that is Commissioner Bernard and I were not even present. If they plural say commissioners, I don't understand. They evidently don't realize, not that, Denny, I was here.
And before me too, I get the same thing. I got here, there was about 10 to 12 million that was not appropriated.
Right. Just so they understand that there's 2 new commissioners here that we didn't appropriate any monies for ARPA. And
And a lot of it's ignorance. So there one guy in there yesterday said, we should have used ARPA money to put, if you wanted economic development mosquito should put the water and sewer lines in with the ARPA money. But that's like a $30 to $60 million project. It would have used every bit of it. I mean, so someone was ignorant and they're talking, they could have simply looked at the YouTube and seen it.
Commissioners, I have now, beyond a shadow of doubt, figured out what's going on. If you actually are trying to get it from a phone, you're right, it doesn't for some odd reason, but when you actually go to the website from a PC or computer, can you bring it up?
Yeah, but I think 90% of the world's looking at phones right now.
So IT, see if we can provide.
I know it works at one
There.
point, because I downloaded the PDF myself.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll.
And if they don't see it, and then like I looked and he probably looked, he probably said, oh, look, they're not showing it, they're not disclosing, disclosing.
But it's
It's there,
definitely
it's there. I understand.
It's just not mobile compatible.
I'll address that.
Julie Green, one more thing, every single journal item is on our website. So every meeting, every recording, going back, I don't know how many years it goes back, where it was discussed is also journalized.
I agree, but ignorance isn't gonna research. They're gonna look and see, I can't see it,
Yeah.
so it must not be there.
Yeah,
Commissioners, Mike Selman, Joint Tax Transit. With the phone, my understanding from website, with the phones and websites, I don't care what website you're on, you don't get the whole thing. You only get parts of the website. I mean, I've done it with other websites, in general. You just don't get it. So that's part of it, and it's nothing to do with IT, it's just the way the websites are. Because the phones are much smaller than a regular computer.
No, but there should be a way. I know that I did it on my phone
Yeah.
initially.
I have too. That's interesting. In the past, I know I did, because I hit download and was able to save it on my phone.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
It's all.
Is there a way, do we have the dates or not that could be on that spreadsheet?
Well, the dates are, I can do that, or Shara can do that, but the dates are interesting because you have dates when things were submitted. Mark, you were looking at it. I inherited a spreadsheet that was a little bit disorganized. I did my best to organize it, but we had dates where things were submitted, dates where things were approved. And sometimes those dates weren't always right with what I had. But, and remember, you guys would send things, or the previous board would send things to the attorney, and then it would be final approval. So there was a lot of dates in there.
And there were rounds, there was maybes that turned to yeses and
Right,
maybes.
yeah. Very, I mean, we could, I'm sure that we could figure it out and redo that spreadsheet. with
We would have to
dates,
pull
But it would
everything.
be, it would be.
And that may not be needed, at least if they see it up there, here's where the money went.
There's a lot. And what I did do on that, you can also see with that, what is, what were county projects, and this was also done where it was when things that were completed. I think there's probably been more, I kind of walked away from the ARPA after I did this, so, but we did county projects and we did grants so that people could see where it was given. That's why it's color coded there. At the time that I did this, which was either the end of the year or the beginning of this year, green were completed county projects, a lot of them sanitary, a few others that weren't. And then the pink were incomplete county projects and yellow were grants. So the grants were things like when we gave it to the township nonprofits, like that, so people could see where it was spent.
Well, I would like to see a complete report done with the dates, like at the end of the first year, how much ARPA money was left, in the second year, how much was left, because I've asked for a couple of reports and I've gotten 2 or 3 different answers, so I'd like to know the real answer, like how much was left for each year at each time.
Eunice has to, that's what I did. And it just, it's a little bit, some of the purchase orders were not done. And then, and it does not account for that unless the PO is done. So there's numerous things that hinder giving you an exact amount.
And there was money that was committed that wasn't necessarily that process. And remember,
It was horrible.
I stepped into this process in 23 and it had been ongoing. So my attempt was to organize it in a fashion so that the commissioners could look at things, approve them, would know what they had approved, what they had sent on to the attorney. It was quite disorganized when I got it. So a lot of things I didn't have prior to August of 23. I had no contact with it, and I didn't know a lot of things, and there were things that were wrong on the spreadsheet, so we had to correct.
I was just the grump.
I know you were. When I'm
That's
looking
all.
at you, I'm looking at you for support, that it really wasn't that.
It was
a
not,
mess.
it was, it
And we
was
had
quite
to organize
cumbersome.
it, and once they got approved by the attorney, and we got them through that process where we
Yep.
had everything. So,
And I agree, when I hear, that's why I thought there was like 17 or 18 million. And then I was told, no, wait, this is already approved, but it's no PO for it yet. This was already voted on before I got here, and now, and we got down to it. It was a little over 10 million. It was actually left.
Well, see, but the figures I have to say something different than that. That's what I would like to know in my own mind. You know, what actually are the figures, like start at 22, how much money, start at 23, how much money, start at 24, how much money? Because
So the
I mean, I got one
SOI
number
is
from the auditor's office,
I can
which
give
was,
Munis
which
reports.
was much higher than that. And then we also, and then I came across a resolution where they passed it, $10 million was supposed to have been put in, the replacement revenue
no,
money.
that was adopting the 10 years, $10 million standards. It
And that was-
wasn't,
that was
it wasn't
before me.
allocating it, it was a
Oh, no,
formality
it was
that had.
before you, but I think.
It had to be, no, it was adopting the standard revenue replacement, but we could utilize, or the county could utilize that money either for revenue replacement or for projects. It wasn't saying 10 million has to go to that, it's saying up to 10 million they could use. It was
No,
adopted.
we did adopt the standard, that the
Right.
10 million was, that was ours for what we wanted to do with it. In the reporting world for the US Treasury, that was a whole separate category. And I would
Right.
continually accept that $10 million, and then it just,
So you're saying that money didn't have to be transferred?
Did not have to, well, transferred, it's not in a separate fund,
No,
it's all 077. It could be utilized up to 10 million, could be utilized for revenue replacement. And the standards for that were a little different, things like that, but it was up to 10 million. Having that 10 million, and I would suggest that if you're confused about this, the best person to talk to would be Tanya Rogers, because she's
I'm
explained
not
it to us.
confused, I'm just saying, why would you make a resolution?
Because it was a requirement,
Yeah.
thank you for being here, because you understand this. It was a requirement for ARPA to do that,
to accept the standard allowance.
the standard allowance, or there was a formula that had to be done, correct?
Right.
Yes. And I mean, I
And they
would,
even changed the reporting in the US Treasury. Initially, we did not have to report all the projects that we did through the revenue replacement, and then in the end, I did have to go
Right.
through and place
but
all those
that,
projects.
but that money could be used for either.
It was, yes, it was,
So that's nothing's
It was
missing,
not
nothing, what
stringent.
everything was, it was just a way to get certain projects approved.
Correct.
And now as far as should they have done more revenue replacement, that's the board, that's not, but it wasn't anything that was done improperly.
And that is still part of the 38 million, 10 million of the
Right,
38
yes,
million could be
correct,
used for,
yes.
basically, that's like a whatever.
Right.
And
So
the other 28 million, that's standards if you have.
what
it
the
full.
board chose to do was to utilize a certain amount of that 10 million for actual revenue and then revenue replacement, and then have the other ones approved under different categories. And again, I would strongly suggest that for a good education in this and how it works, if you're still have questions, to talk to Tanya Rogers, because she was the one that gave the advice to the board, and a lot of times through me to the board, but to the board.
And she was present at both public hearings that we had to explain to people in the crowd that had questions, or trustees. And we had a lot of people from the community that were there. And then with what we had, I did state, as did Commissioner Frenchco at the time, we want so much to go to the townships, and that's where we said each township would get up to 300,000. I think it totaled somewhere around 6 million or 7 million out of the 38 was gonna go toward township projects. That's where all the ambulances went, and the roads and the water lines and things in certain townships that didn't qualify. For stuff, we had cots and emergency cots, was that?
Generators.
A lot of generators, right? We did 4 or 5 generators. So each township got their wish, they submitted it into the portal, we voted on it when we had the next public meeting. And we went on every request and voted yes or no on it, and that's how that money was spent, and that only totaled up to be I think we said 300,000, we go to the townships, I think we probably only averaged about 200,000. And it was less than 6 million that went to the townships ultimately from that. And then the rest went sanitary and, you know, whoever else.
Julie Green, I worked closely with the auditor on the MOUs last year regarding making sure it was obligated, which may or may not be repealed as a requirement. But that was one of many changes to ARPA. They had, I think, 3 different revisions to the original rule, which made it more simplified for people to qualify their projects. Even so, they still required a lot of assistance. I probably have 200 pages of emails helping people to qualify under certain criteria, which is what Shara has to report on for each project. You have to list the criteria within the American Rescue Plan Act to prove that it's an eligible activity. And regarding the dates for ARPA, you might, just taking one project as an example, you might have 6 different dates of actions, journal
Right.
actions. And that's what I was referring to before. Every single step of the process was done by journal action by the Board of Commissioners. And so it's complicated. It's not an easy thing. So having one particular date may not be, you know, depending on what exactly the date you're looking for. So the original resolutions before we even hired Tanya to provide expert assistance, it was just a resolution by the commissioners stating that we're going to commit a dollar amount. Those monies weren't encumbered at that time. That was just an authorizing resolution. And then when the project was, you know, found to be qualified and they went out for bids and followed the procurement policy, then that was another date where the purchase order was generated. And then, you know, expending the funds was another date. So and then if you add the MOUs onto that and change orders, you've got several more dates. So it's.
Then there were some that were approved that we retracted at the end. Some where we gave them, we said, we need more information, we need this, that we never got it. There were a couple nonprofits.
Right, and then.
We scrapped it and we voted no.
Approval, when you guys were, Martha, the board would say, we want to do this project, we're going to be sure that it fits with the guidelines, and that's where Attorney Rogers would come in, and then that formal approval after Attorney Rogers had said, yes, this fits, you guys are able to do this, then you would do a very formal resolution, actually 2 resolutions also would be involved, that Attorney Rogers would write and submit. And while I'm have the floor to talk, I want to remind this board, because they probably don't understand it or don't realize it. My office, this was not my statutory responsibility. I stepped in to help the board. Commissioner Bernard said, I asked the auditor's office. The auditor's office is not the keeper of these records. Your
You
office
weren't the
is.
keeper, but you were involved in it. That's what I.
Gave you what I had, and I
Right,
didn't always
right.
have things because I stepped in August of 23. There was a lot done prior to that. You were asking questions about end of 22. I had no idea. I could guess from certain things. Without researching the journal
Well, you
actions.
gave me a letter, so you felt pretty confident. Wow.
Well, I gave you what I could get.
Right.
And I believe I have to look back at the letter, but I believe I told you this is what I have knowledge of. I did the best that I
No
could.
problem with it, I just stated the fact.
But I'm stating the fact that this was not my statutory responsibility. This was not federally my responsibility. This money was the commissioner's money to spend. I never made a decision on it. I kept the records as best I could. I organized the records. I assisted with making sure the money got obligated so that we didn't get surgery.
And I would say, Auditor, you did a great job with it. It was understandable. Every week we got updates and you went above and beyond with the duties of that. When, like you said, I got here right before you did. We had no idea. It was a mess. I had a stack of applications that they gave me that are still sitting in my office that dated all the way back to the very beginning. You have to go through each and every application and then look to see if there was a journal action for that. And there were some things, even looking at that sheet we just had up there. Can we put that back up there for a second? And there's still some things that were on there that I still would like better clarification down the road somewhere. I think we need to follow up on to make sure it was utilized in the proper manner. And I'm sure that's hard for Shara when she has to report to the treasury all her reports that she has to do. Yeah, like right there, the in the yellow. BP Small Business Grant Program, BP Business Loan Program, $3 million countywide. That was before I got here, and I know it went to
Julie Green, Trumbull County, our office oversaw that program along with Valley Partners.
but I understand it's still vague though when someone looks at it,
Right.
like, what was that for? Because it's not detailed unless they pull the application and look at it.
Right.
Those are things that general public, if they look at, they're gonna be like, what's this? What's this? There
We're willing to.
there is documentation for everything that's in there somewhere.
There's a lot of documentation and we're willing to sit down with the commissioners. In fact, we best, a couple of times for the commissioners to come and go over all of our work program in detail. We can do that at any time you want. We can also add to the spreadsheet if you would like. I mean, I've always found that writing, most people don't read if you write too much. So you let me know what information you'd like to have included in that, and I'll certainly provide that. Same with TMP, emergency home repair. That money was used for home repairs. If you want a list of addresses, contractors, dollar amounts, I'm certain we can get you that within the day. Trumbull County Historical Society, same thing. Using those funds for the Morgan House rehabilitation. I don't
And then
know.
there's some that, well, there's back in 22, TCSO salaries, $2.9 million
Yeah, that was
Sheriff.
to bail out the sheriff, previous sheriff.
general. It was to bail out the general.
It was, but,
Because.
and that was lost revenue, right?
Yeah, that was revenue
Yes.
loss, and there was at that time approved up to a certain amount for 911, but they later decided that they didn't. So it wasn't utilized, it was utilized.
There were some big checks that went out early.
Let me know what you want me to put down.
Let's scroll down a little bit more.
Salaries in the Trumbull County Sheriff's vehicles are like 14 vehicles that we purchased for the sheriff's department also. That was $1 million.
There's a slide.
$600 should
We
be.
spent most of it.
All this. Got it tomorrow. Allocate them right to the penny.
And there will be, looking at some of these here, there will be some monies coming back.
Yeah, I just did a generalization when I was doing the actual reporting to U.S. Treasury. That's how I came up with that number. A
Great.
left.
Great, so let's scroll a little more.
It hurts.
The ones at the end, and these were. When you ask for the dates, Martha Trumbull County Auditor, the order generally on the spreadsheet that I had was in order of when they were first discussed. So at the very end are mostly grants. And then there was a few things that were added, but I didn't always have, when you talk about dates, it's a floating thing, and I didn't. So I kind of,
Stop it.
my concern was to organize it, to get it to the commissioners, not necessarily for the record.
And there are some things on there like the land bank, 2 million. We give 2 million, but they were able to get 8 million in return from the feds utilizing the 2 million that we gave. So they ended up with $10 million total for that program.
And Julie Green, they used, I believe, those funds to demolish the Ween building, which was a county.
This is a separate, this is a
So it's
separate
different?
grant,
That's
yeah.
brownfield.
That was
Ah,
brownfield.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's another grant they got that
Right.
helped the county out.
Right,
And a lot of those are needed. Like some people were criticizing the township grants, Brookfield Township Stormwater Management. That's a neighborhood that flooded all the time, constantly. So I mean, there were some programs in there that people dig a little deep. City Cortland, 300,000 for a generator, but they needed that for their water supply system. And And we couldn't turn a deaf eye on that because it was an emergency need. They actually requested 700,000. Okay, it's cool. So when you dig in deep to each of these, like I said, each township, they picked what they wanted. Liberty, 450,000 again, stormwater. Their ball fields, their some of their city buildings flood. And the parking lots, that's a major overhaul there. That they've got skin in the game too on, but would never been able to do it without the ARPA money from us.
And again, Julie Green, our office continues to help these grantees with spending the money properly. We're currently helping Mecca Township and Liberty Township with spending their ARPA funds because for whatever reason, they weren't able to move forward in a timely manner. But thankfully, we have them obligated and hopefully we'll be able to get those restrictions repealed so that you can use the rest of the funds.
You know, and that's something maybe we relax on, and people don't understand sometimes where the money came from. But like, we got a new park in Gustavus, we got a new park in Hartford, that would not have been there without ARPA funds. We should maybe have some type of plaque or something, this paid for by ARPA, or we don't really toot our own horn. We gave the check and then we walked away from it. But there's a lot in this county over the last 4 years that ARPA money blessed a lot of townships and a lot of people and made a mark with a lot of stuff, for everything from, like you said, Optimist Club in Bezetta to fire trucks and ambulances and broadband. People are gonna get internet all over the county because of that. Plus a lot of the road projects, the roads in Vernon and roads in Bezetta, water line in Bezetta. That's all ARPA money.
And that was Martha Yoder, Trumbull County Auditor. I will give a little credit to the former engineer on that. And actually I think it was Gary Schaefer, that they figured out a way to do that with ARPA funds, because initially it didn't look like it could get approved. And they worked with Jason Toth and with Mike Rogers to do that in a way that it would be
Which project was that, Margaret?
a road project.
Okay.
Yeah, I will give some credit there because they kind of pushed to that. And so we were able to do Bezetta, Vernon, Farmington, and Musco, all four got road projects that would not have been gotten. I think, like I said, I think it was Gary Schaefer that about so at the engineer's office. And then they're being completed by the current engineer.
Yeah, I would encourage anybody who's got a question, go to the website once we get this fixed. And if they can look at it like this or use it from a laptop or a desktop and just look at where that money was spent, money literally from all four corners of the county and everything in between. The only community that got nothing from this is Green Township. And that's because we asked and they didn't put in any requests. Now they'll get the benefit of some of the other neighboring communities. Gustavus has a park that maybe they'll use the pickleball courts in or whatever, but every other entity in the county got some, including all the cities, all the municipalities, the villages, and the townships, even ball fields in West Farmington. So that ARPA money was spread all over the county.
Plus each township received funds too.
Yeah, but they got like 90,000 or whatever. They weren't.
I have right down here.
Okay, what are some of them? Some that they got?
Well, I don't want to go into that, but I have, like Bezetta got 578,000. Holland got one.
They get 578,000, but we had to pay $1 million for their water line, 100,000 for their Jacoby, and
Each township,
an ambulance.
each township received their own funds also, which, and I have that breakdown. Holland got 1.7 million, so, there was funds other than what the county gave that they all received. Hubbard got it, Champion got it, all the townships. Green got a little bit, they didn't get much.
They got something.
Yeah, they got like 100,000. City of Warren got like 28 million.
Yeah, that's why we did nothing in City Warren. City Warren got nothing from us because of that amount. Now, some things in the City Warren, some nonprofits got help, maybe some of the road things come out, yeah, that, but we did not specifically get more because they had almost as much as us for being a city entity.
Julie Green, I just want to make one final comment because I spent quite a bit of time on this program along with a lot of other people here, like Martha and Sharon and Michael Swinsky. If anybody has any questions, I probably worked on at least 30 of those, me and my staff. Projects. So if anyone has any questions, we're always available to answer questions. And any additional information you want or need, please feel free to reach out to us. It was a learning experience for sure. Especially considering how many times they updated the guidance. So every time a new guidance would come out, we would have to reevaluate whether or not projects were considered eligible. So.
And I guess I brought this up because we are talking about budgets and everything. And being, like I said, maybe it's just that guy on the internet who said, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, why didn't you do this? You should have spent it here. He could have sat in his butt in any of those seats out there and raised his hand and said, I'm a taxpayer, why don't you spend it here? And he did. So, you know, we worked diligently with this, everybody in the county, our department heads, a lot of different county offices when this got done. And really, I mean, you can criticize, he can criticize whatever he wants, but what are you gonna do? Go repo an ambulance from Holland? Say that's not good, let's put in a road here, or take the cot away from the ambulance in Johnson? I mean, those were all good projects and they were all publicly discussed at public hearings and majority voted on, and that's why they're there. And only from us, but the trustees that did submit them prioritized themselves first before they submitted to us what their ask was, and I'm sure they appreciate it. So I guess that guy could go pound salt. I guess that's it.
Jerry, can we move on?
Yes, we can. I originally thought we were going over the budget that we got in our here, so. Okay, thank you. Everyone who contributed to that discussion. We're gonna move on with our budget. Madam Auditor, you did approach the table, as I mentioned. I think you had something to say.
Do, just as before you do your considerations, I wanted to just give you guys some facts with regard to your financial position right now, so that you understand it. The current cash available in the general fund that has not yet been budgeted is $1,141,659.01. This is current as of today with the estimated revenue, the amended certificate of estimated revenue that was done Monday. Our current reserves are at $14,250,125.27. As a reminder, at the beginning of the year, the reserves were at just over 15 million. Since the beginning of the year, the board has utilized reserves for a total of about almost 3.5 million. The breakdown is there of what we had, although Sharon's questioned something and I will check, but it's a smaller amount.
Yeah, it's not,
So, and it's so that you guys understand, you've utilized reserves and, for lots of things, but mostly, the vast majority of that was to supplement the general fund initially. We have made up a portion of that, from excess sales tax and excess casino. I just want to make sure the commissioners, well, we've got this extra money. Well, yes and no. We made more money than we estimated. However, we took money from those reserves. So it's right, as of right now, it's going back in those reserves, but we're still not where we were at the beginning of the year. That's my point. No judgment, just letting you understand that, right? Current reserves are at about 20% of the total budgeted amount for the year. If you take from reserve, remember that you're taking from reserves and you're taking those and you're putting those in that general fund budget, that decreases the percentage in two ways, just as a. That's all I have. If you have questions about what I've said, I'll be glad to answer it. I just wanted the board to understand where you're at. Because I know that, again, numbers tend to fluctuate here and there. We do feel that, our reserve number is absolutely the most current and, the current cash in the general fund that has not been allocated or budgeted is our most current amount.
Thank you, it's helpful. Appreciate it.
Sure, I made that purchase yesterday on Amazon. And they charged me sales tax on there, so.
Should not have done that.
So how does that get done? So even internet sales tax is waived this year?
Yes, and I would,
They're
that's,
charging it.
that's
right.
right, that's the Department of Taxation, state of Ohio. Remember, although we get sales tax, it's distributed by the state to us, so we don't.
But how does the internet, especially banning
Well,
purposes?
Amazon especially should know because we have a deal with and collect it. So they should be aware of it as a vendor, as a large vendor in the state of Ohio, that they're not supposed to be collecting, right?
Questions of 500?
That was like $78 or something, but I saw the sales tax on it.
Chrissy, is there somebody at contact?
It's actually
at the
cleaning
Department of
supplies.
Taxation that we can,
There is a general email address though. I think if you
Like
wanted
use
to the
his-
other time, we
right.
had a question about Liberty Township.
I just ordered something. Now that you say that.
I mean, if they do collect by mistake, are we still gonna get it, or is it gonna disappear into the state, or go into a big void somewhere? I'll make sure that we're getting our fair share if they are collecting it.
Interesting.
that's a question for the Department. of Taxation. That is their service and their money. Just occasionally go to peanuts at Walmart.
Excuse me.
No. Walmart.
That Carmichael of Trumbull County Tourism, if it's cleaning supplies, I don't believe that that's part of the tax-free. There's specific categories.
I didn't think there were this time. I thought it was just.
There's
like the $5.
categories, well, there's
There's
exceptions,
specific
but
categories that give you the tax exemption.
I believe last year electronics weren't included, but this year they are.
Correct, but I don't think
Yeah.
cleaning supplies is
I thought any
included.
Yeah, I don't know.
they didn't charge. Oh. So I thought.
So I
What
think
did
that
you
that's the
buy?
other layer.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Like Swiffers, things like
Oh.
that.
But I did too on Walmart and
Huh.
there was no.
I would contact Department of Taxation. That's their service. Any other questions pertinent?
And we did budget, of course. You did budget based on last year having a tax holiday, at least for
We
the
did.
1 week. We didn't know.
We
about the
did,
two.
and we did, but we did not know it would be as long as it is this year, but I'm pretty, I think I said this when they asked me this, I'm pretty confident that we will get at least our budgeted amount. I just wanna, my concern with the sales, because of the sales tax holiday, and because we've done so well on sales tax, and I have this concern without the sales tax holiday. But yeah, we've done really well, but that doesn't necessarily indicate how we will do for the last 5 months of the year. And we have to be, the whole budgeting is to be cautious. Optimism is fine, but you can't budget on optimism. We've done great and it's replenished the reserves to a point, and that's wonderful, and I'm very happy about it. Also done well in casino. But again, both of those sources are based on things that are outside of our control, right? We can't control what people buy, we can't control if they go to the casino and spend their money. So we need to be cautious as we budget, and that's why we've done it.
Well, I think the board's been cautious all year. I mean,
I wasn't saying,
we've been criticized, but I think we've been cautious.
I wasn't implying that the board hasn't been cautious, there was a lot of excitement over the sales tax and and how well it's done. I want people to understand it's not necessarily an indicator of it.
Oh, I agree with you, yeah.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you for this,
Very helpful.
So with this in mind, commissioners, we have some time. We need to discuss budget and where we're gonna move forward and how we're gonna move forward with the amounts in these departments that are requesting the additional monies. if I may make a suggestion as one commissioner, I believe in funding the departments, but I also believe that we should revisit this budget process in another 2 months and delegate and appropriate enough monies to keep them moving until we have another meeting in a couple of months, meaning similar to what the sheriff requested when they requested $1 million and we gave them 500,000 of the million. I don't see where they're going out of business if we appropriate, or have to, consider any kind of layoffs as long as we provide enough money to keep them moving. In most cases, with, I believe, the exception of the Board of Elections, I think that they're going to need the amounts of money that they requested. I think the other departments, even our own department, in maintenance, we can operate by delegating even, half the money. But those amounts need to be decided by the commissioners. So I don't know the approach or how to handle it. I don't know if somebody
What
wants to have
departments
input
are
on it.
critical right now? I mean, which departments are critical
I,
payroll right now?
that maintenance.
Right.
That's needs
So
immediate.
we don't, maintenance is critical.
Mhm.
Helps.
Auditor's office, if
Yes.
they're on a 2-week thing.
Community courts, municipal courts. Mhm.
What else?
Where,
Yeah.
I don't know about board elections. They weren't here last week to justify. Didn't submit any difference of where they cut back, what they did.
well,
All they
we're
said is we need more and
we're
here's.
short payroll.
Yeah.
We're short.
They submitted that to us.
Well, I
We
can
have-
see it.
Yeah, we have the
I
report.
understand that, but we asked the
For
departments.
short payroll,
to
what
give us an
about
update.
the balance?
Their balance of what they have.
No, the balance. They have to get printed, balance.
Oh, their ballot, yeah, like we have to leave that money in there. They can't move that money.
Is there enough money there for that?
Yes, they did account for that.
So the only thing that they're short then would be payroll.
Yes. And they were really cut in the board's amount, if I recall correctly. The board's amount was like significant. Yeah.
So there's a really helpful report that the auditor's office provides that really helps show all of this. And I have to give credit where credit's deserved. It goes general fund account by general fund account down to the line level 5120 being salary, employees, so on and so forth. So just for public transparency, what we're looking at here really shows you at the halfway through, if you're at 68.2%, like Sarah just said, in board members, you know that they're going to be overexpended. 53.2, in salaries, we can see that that's treading. Now, like I said, I agree, because I looked at all this, the facilities was probably the largest cautionary measure, and being at 80%, when we looked at it at the end of, he's shaking his head, and just.
I mean, board members is nothing. They make 1,000 a month and there's only 4. So I mean, so they may be in a big percentage, but you're talking a couple $1,000. That's it.
I thought they were like 20.
But I
No.
also must concur with what Shara said, we don't, it's up to the board, but. From an HR standpoint, you don't wanna rob Peter to pay Paul, so we don't wanna see them taking money out of other funds that they need to issue ballots, to pay stamps, to put that into their payroll line, and then we can't run an election. I'm just calling a spade a spade. So.
So how much does the board need?
They are requesting where was it?
257.
257, 403, 44.
157,000,
Yes.
and that's all for payroll. Basically.
Well, basically, the majority of it, their employees, that the health insurance, everything was like,
Yes.
it was cut. Yeah.
Yeah, it could
Can you
be
coordinate
contributed
so
to,
much?
We need about 115,000 for municipal work.
And maintenance,
They asked for 891.
what can get them by?
I'm going to guess like, I would give them 500, 400, 450.
I saw a figure of 400,000. We know that that would keep going, but you know, if we're, actually, I thought that figure was supposed to be at 750. Did it go up?
No, that was their total. That was what they were just like to get them to that. I think they were accounting
So-
for some.
Yeah, 759,000 was just payroll expenses in
Yes.
general over, keep the 14% PERS for the actual salary, the workers' comp, well, workers' comp's been shifted already, but general hospitalization costs or events. They did add an additional 100,000 for basically to keep the county afloat and continue to maintenance projects. So if you choose to do, half, that would suffice. I talked to Daryl this morning. I mean, of course, I'm just trying to make sure we're not getting ourselves into a layoff situation ahead of time. So
Oh, no.
that's what I'm looking at as payroll purposes.
Right.
Daryl, I
No,
want to speak on
without that.
behalf, we have a very, new but very awesome, and he said at least if they can get half, that would give them through payroll for the next couple cycles, and it could be really
Yeah,
nice.
and I don't have any issue with half. We revisit in 2 months to see
And
where we're at.
Martha, what do you need?
293, 277, I think.
78.
Thank you.
Correct.
Because I was more concentrated.
That's to carry you to the end. I mean, how good are you for a while?
Let's talk to, like, October 31st. We reviewed October, November. Can you do half until then? And then if our sales tax continue to go up, no problem, we finish out the year for everybody. If it does plummet for some reason, and we get less in sales tax in those last couple of months, which I don't think is gonna happen at all, then at least we haven't expended everything. We got a nest egg.
I'll take what you give, obviously, but I'm going to say reevaluate sooner than that, please. It takes time. If we end up having to lay off, take time. Yes, ma'am.
Well, here's what we have. With the Board of Elections, without your own department, gentlemen, without our department, we have 1,706,681.22. We have 1.14. So it would leave a balance to get us to the end of the year of 565. Some change. So if that gives you that's without your own department. So that's without any major breaks that I have to do a PO for.
And we have 5 more months worth of tax coming in if we're up 200,000. We've been up 300, 300, 400. If we're up even 200,000, that's another million. So we'll be good.
You know, we're not gonna
It
cut.
looks positive.
We're gonna get the money lost no matter.
Yeah.
I would agree.
And that's,
I don't think we're gonna be like,
so
We're not gonna be great, but I mean, 565, I mean,
Don't forget the
realistically,
recorder too. The recorder had 150.
but I was including that.
Okay.
I was including her in the 1.7.
Keep in mind, our electric, our rates are upset.
That's where we're
we
gonna
haven't even
be.
talked about.
I mean, we're gonna be,
That's where that, but then again, we are, if we get to that point, our reserves are 20% of the budget, where they recommend we keep 2 months in there, 12% or whatever.
16.7%.
So we've got a little buffer in that too.
So we have a little bit of, but we don't wanna touch it, but need be, you gotta take a few just to get by, but we'll be good.
gentlemen, just let me, Marcia, Trumbull County Auditor, I just want to finish my thought on that. I asked just that you consider it. It's taken 8 weeks from that first meeting that you had in June to get to this point. Things need to be done timely.
Well, the reason for that is we wanted to see how much money we had. I mean, now we have a better idea, okay? There's no use visiting it in May and June and July.
No, but I'm saying it's been 8 weeks since you started the process to get us to this date. And I know that because I was in the hospital.
Right, and 8 weeks and nobody's been laid off.
Correct.
Why don't we say
But
October
as we-
1st? We meet around October 1st. That's
Or
a month and a half.
we can meet.
I would say that's fine, but I would say ask for the stuff, ask for the information from people well before that, so you have information in front of you and you can study it. This is based, I am not your boss. You don't have to do, this is not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm just requesting this
Well-
as someone who has to deal with this. I gave you my information. So the meeting was 8 weeks ago today. I gave you my information very quickly. But it hasn't, you've had my information since June 23rd.
Right.
So I'm, and then again, and I understand you haven't, you say you haven't known what money you have, but actually I gave what was in reserves. I also gave what you had as far as the carryovers on June 16th, I sent that. So you have had information all along. But I'm just saying, because as we get closer, Christy likes to say this, the last half of the year goes faster than the first half. Things move fast.
Yeah, but to me, June and July was a carryover, or that was an increase in sales tax on the 700,000, those 2 months. So those were critical for me to make a decision.
Understood, but you need to, within, this board needs to understand that it goes fast. And if we get.
And we can move fast, or
We
we
can
know how
move
much
fast,
money
yeah.
we have.
Sure.
You know, I mean, you can't, if
Well,
we had to make a decision back in May, it probably wouldn't have been
I
a good
didn't
decision.
make
because you
a
didn't know how much
decision
money
back
we
in
had.
May, with all due respect.
You know,
As long as the departments are communicating, we will,
well, we kind of know what
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
figures are.
I mean,
They told us what the figures are.
After. Second hearing.
and then we're. Right.
One.
I mean, the board said, all possible, we don't want to see layoffs, but you know, and we're gonna do everything we can to prevent them.
First of all,
We
there's.
just need some time, we
there
need some time and money.
We have made this commitment. There's not gonna be any layoffs. We have made that commitment. So as long as our departments are communicating and give us the information that we need, we can move quickly.
As long as the world doesn't go off a cliff after October 1st, our sales tax doesn't tank,
Well,
something, we're good to the end of the year. I feel comfortable.
And if we have to dip, we have to dip.
But we don't, yeah, but right now we don't have to do that.
Right.
So,
I mean, we can't be criticized for dipping into the reserves if we have to, and then being criticized for having layoffs. I mean, if we have to go to there for the money, we're gonna do it. We don't want
but I
to,
don't think we'll have to.
and hopefully we don't.
so we included the.
When is the first Tuesday after the October budget commission meeting?
I have to look at my calendar for the budget.
That's right.
Give me a. What did you ask again? The first,
When is the budget commission meeting?
our first one, so
We don't
we
need that.
have an October 13th.
Yeah,
So,
14th.
Probably our last one in September is September 29th.
Well.
So you probably would want to go right after that.
That's a holiday.
Yeah, then the 30th, we won't know September's figures for sales tax. will we?
Oh, yeah, we did.
It comes in around the 20th. Yeah.
Let's schedule for that.
It's a holiday. 13th.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah, the 13th, I have it on 13th, but it would be the 14th. This is my personal.
So then our workshop will be the 15th, or will be,
150.
So our last, Mark Theater, Trumbull County Auditor, our last budget commission meeting in September is September 29th. We have them every other month. So, so I would suggest we be looking, and we'll have our sales tax figures by then. All of that.
About the 20th each month.
So we'll have sales tax. Before.
so let's set another budget meeting for September 30th. To review
It's fine.
to the end of the year.
And as a request, if you need information, I would suggest mailing or emailing the departments and the offices about 2 weeks ahead of time. So if you need information, at least 2 to 3, so that they can send that to you and you can review it before that date.
At 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock again.
Also about that time, Christy Cesaric, Auditor's Office, also about that time, the request will be going out for the November level of the 2026 budget to get ready for the budget hearing shortly after Thanksgiving.
Give
Just
everybody
a heads
time.
up.
That's a really good point. We need to talk about. We need to talk about.
I can tell you this much,
We would like to do it early.
Asheville County is having their next year's budget meetings right now. And they're
Yeah,
gonna
we would like to
finalize
do
the
ours instead of doing them around Thanksgiving. We'd like to do them at the beginning, November if possible. Right after, maybe at the end of election week, isn't that one?
Yes.
Chrissy Cesaric, Auditor's Office. We are done with the June level. I'll be working on the alternative tax budget tomorrow to hopefully have available for the commissioners to approve next week. Once I start that tomorrow, we're going to flip the in Munis, the control, like the roll to the November level, and people can start entering those in anytime to have those, to start getting those ready for you.
There are some Alex Stevens, Jency Bush, Human Resources, Karen, there's a huge caveat to that. The only caveat, and Christy and everybody else who knows this, everybody knows this, the auditor, staff, we don't have solid health insurance numbers until the end of November. So all I can give you is an estimate of how much to increase that line level. But as you can see, it's extremely important to increase that line level. If I say increase it 14%, just do the 14%, because it's better to plan and be safe than sorry. And I don't get those numbers until they come in after the budget time. But anybody who listened did that the years prior, because I was very cautious to make sure everybody looked at that. You have to look at your contracts. You have to look at those things.
Be okay with.
All right, so where are we at as far as the budget goes?
Okay, so here's what I got, commissioners. Maintenance, 400,000. Board of Elections, 257. I just want to.
No, I'm not gonna do it. You know, they gotta save like everyone else does. We're gonna throw it all at them, let's throw it all at everybody. They got a small election coming up, they got employee numbers, they got, look at their bills they have now. Their phone, everything else, they're only at 30%. They can move money around within their own budget to save money. There's a lot of things that are 10%, 14, 13, 35, 19. Let them budget a little better with that and do just like we're doing with everybody else. Why are you gonna pick one out instead of the other? Instead of all? They gave $50,000 raises to people on a budget year thing and never said a word to us about it.
Sometimes you gotta get over that bridge. I mean, we had a similar thing with Metro Parks, Denny. We gave them their budget.
Yeah, I mean, measly 65,000.
I know.
You're talking giving them as much as Martha needs at the end of the year, to give Martha half and give them all?
I don't know that we need to, to have them back in here and have issues and.
I think we do fairly, we did it with the sheriff's department and everyone else, bring them back in.
We have to have elections. They're telling us that's what they need. They take us to court, they're gonna win.
They're not taking us to court, we didn't filed nothing.
If you cut their budget, they will.
If we do the same we're doing with them with every other department, that's fair.
I think we have.
We're afraid they're gonna sue us, so. You're not afraid Martha will sue us?
You know what, I think we ought to have a department that can have elections. Elections are important, okay?
They are. And every other county, they can do, other counties can do it for less than what we are, we're doing something wrong.
How much you wanna cut?
It's like we're doing with everybody else, give them
half.
half to 75%.
And you're gonna have to give them the other half.
Well, just like we gotta do it then, that's what we're doing with everybody else. That's what we just said, we're gonna have a review in September and
It's 3 months.
September 30th, we'll review them at the
Oh, I
same
don't have a
time.
problem with giving them half.
All right.
No.
I got no problem with that
They're
either,
gonna have to probably give it all to them.
that's fine,
Okay.
Let's
if
go.
that's what it takes.
So we can look at the
175.
accounts and see where they are.
Yeah.
You wanna go
I
175?
thought you wanted to cut them.
No.
totally.
No,
You wanna go 175? 175.
that's fine, and we're still gonna ask everyone to cut, maybe when they come in September, they don't need the whole rest, maybe they realize. They
Well, it's
do have
gonna-
enough to get,
I
or
mean,
they need a little less.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna argue about it, but it's gonna keep them going. We have to have an election, so.
Right.
Auditor, 150,000. Muni court, 115,000. Recorder, 75,000. And planning commission, 5,000. Julie needs a little bit of money. I think is that correct?
Say 175.
She needs a little bit of
Yeah,
money.
no, it's 150, 150. You need 150.
Did you know that, Commissioner?
He said 175.
Well, that's a little-
That's fine. 5,000, I'm not gonna blink an eye.
Two year half.
You want 25?
It's-
You want 25?
Right.
No, I mean, I agree. I'm talking a big ticket stuff.
Yeah. I was counting whatever money I got. That's fine.
Even and really it's the utilities.
I have some accounts, I can move some things, so I'm trying to keep us relatively solid.
You had this year.
So how much money is that?
Doesn't matter.
What's that total? What we just-
915,000, plus the 5,002 planning, that is 920,000,
What, 1.3?
1.14.
Well, that's basically.
What are you gonna do? And that's only half of what we gotta do.
What did the third word? I'm 75. Yeah.
You got 4. You need money in the regular maintenance account. How much you need there? I mean, like 20,000 or something.
Yes.
You know, he doesn't have any money.
I know, he can't fix anything, he has it.
We need to give him another 20,000. He's a little bit.
So
Why don't we do maintenance at 450?
Right.
450 is okay with me. I
And you'll
have
take some of
Well,
that.
remember, whatever's left's going to our electric bill.
And
Yeah.
exactly.
he'll transfer some of that over into supplies. You gotta have.
That,
When he
450.
doesn't, he has to keep coming to me because he doesn't have any money.
and again, I don't mean to call it a speed of speeding, so what's the point of having staff worried about layoffs if they can't do any work? There's no money to give them work to do. That completely mitigates the whole purpose. So we need the staff and to be able to do bare minimum projects that we continue to see happen in this county day by day, so.
We're good. I'm good with all this. Vic.
Good with that.
Yes.
Daryl, I got a question if you could, Mr. Chairman. Did Corner talk about their air conditioning?
At the office, not at
Yeah.
the, yes,
Okay, something being done with that?
yes, it's been repaired.
We found out the other day, the coroner's office had no air conditioning for over a week, and the employees still went to work there. When it was 90 degrees a few weeks ago, they brought fans and stuff, but I just want to make sure that's getting taken care of. It's in the Board of Elections building.
Yes, Murphy.
Mark the other Trumbull County Auditor, the ARPO spreadsheets have been corrected on mobile, it's just iPhones, it wasn't.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Miss Lisa.
I'd like to set the public hearing for the Guermont annexation. Possibly September 24th, which is a regular meeting day at noon. Is that possible?
I think that's good.
It has to be after 60 days, but before 90 days of it being filed. It's filed July 17th. No, no, no.
Okay, now I want to confirm September 30th at 1. I'm sorry, Sheridan. September 30th at 1 p.m. for budget, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that.
And that date and time's okay for the annexation. Well,
Number 24.
And now we would,
yes. We would like to do the budget hearings earlier than getting into Thanksgiving and the holidays. We'd like to do them and first week of November.
think
Thursday,
it's-
Friday?
yeah, I think it was 6, 7.
Yes.
I don't see any issue with that.
In the past, they were done
6 and 7.
right around Thanksgiving.
The election is the 4th.
Any problem with that, commissioners? Okay.
Thank you.
Whatever works.
11, 6, and 7. Still 30-minute increments?
Yes.
What's the date?
11, 6, and 7.
Commissioner
Okay.
Julie Green, I just wanted to bring up one more item with the commissioners. We have every year, planning commission members with expiring terms. This year we have 2, and we typically start the process in August, September. And I just wanted to get, your concurrence on what process you would like us to follow. Our office is willing to send out the press releases and accept the applications. It was done that way in the past, and then for several years, it was all through the commissioner's office. So I just want to make sure you're aware that that is something that's going to begin soon, and just see what you would like for our office to do. Maybe take some workload off of Lisa and her staff. We're willing to accept it.
How do we do the other departments for the board members? Is it handled through you or is it handled through them?
It's a little bit of both, but I usually will put the ad ins. And then we collect them, and then that period's over, that collection period, and we get finalists.
That's what you want to do. So we'll send it over something. 2 weeks.
Okay. How many do you need?
We have 2 this year.
I sense it's getting too long. I like a calming go. I don't know what it is. Real calm. Yeah, it's a good thing. Before the storm.
Before the storm comes.
It's the calm before the storm.
Please don't say that.
I don't know. What else do we have?
We got 2 things, big, let's make some progress here. One, we still got 3 appointments waiting on senior living. Last week, we got all the names and stuff, we got our folders. Any recommendations? We had asked if anyone else wanted to put in, but we do have
I haven't
3 or
seen
4
it.
names already in there.
I haven't seen it.
I heard that one more name was coming. Let me check and see.
I have the terms though, when you're ready to do them.
So you wanna,
Yeah,
Table it.
I can check it.
There's nobody in there you looked at that you guys want, now that you looked at?
well, we had one
We put one on.
fell out, right?
Yeah.
One is out.
But I heard that one was coming back in, so.
Um,
What, do we have 3 positions?
Read left, Lisa?
Yes. And they're partial terms for people that resign. Whenever it's adopted through December 31st of 26.
well. I don't know. You just wanna
You
hold
wanna
on?
put 2 on?
You
And
can
then
put
see
2, I
the other
guess.
one to see if the other one comes in or not.
That's what I'm asking, the one you looked at, do you wanna
Yeah,
present, do you
yeah.
wanna?
But yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we already chose, is it Marlowe?
Marlo.
James Marlowe. So we only have 3 left here, and if we don't get any more in, you got
I
3.
think there's one coming, is what I've been
Yeah.
told.
So you basically, you like all of them, it just,
I think they all do a good job.
for your thoughts. You have any,
I'm good, I made a recommendation, Mr. Marlowe, if you each wanna make one, pick one out of there, put 2 more in, I'm fine with that. The resumes are all worthy.
well, I guess I'm good with
Yeah,
Mr.
so-
Paxson. Or Mitchell Paxson. You'd like to,
Where's which he from? Is he a champion guy too?
this is, Mitchell Paxson, he's from, Towards the, or, no, sorry. Aspen Drive Northwest.
That's Champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know who that is. I'm okay with that.
Mitchell Paxson. We have already have James Marlowe, and then we have a couple others here. Christy Stein is female.
No, that's her. Yeah.
Or no, Christy Stein. Why am I looking at her name?
She must have
Made the
written it
copy.
off, yeah.
I'm looking at volunteer application.
You're volunteering.
I know her as Chrissy.
I'll make that
That's a
motion.
true public servant right there.
I make.
Yes,
Services.
I know, that just makes my heart happy. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Like, no.
No, that's funny. You know what, that.
That is so funny.
What do you want to put those,
Chrissy, I'm looking at Christy.
commissioners, do you want to put those three in? If they hit the deadline, they were already in with the deadline. And then we're gonna have more positions come open if someone else puts in.
The
Yeah,
only
this
thing,
is-
I mean, I think if this person's, I mean, I think he made a good board member. He told me last week he was, and I thought he had already submitted, but I don't want to reveal the name of this. It's okay for him, but I think you will play with also.
Well, Nanette Moyers, she's a female. We picked, I don't know if it makes a difference, but if you want to put another woman on the board, we could choose Nanette Moyer.
Sounds like you're lucky.
All right, Nanette Moyer. Lisa,
Okay.
And then we'll.
and then we'll wait for
And
the
then-
one, and then.
I can
For the
make a
final.
phone call, and if they don't do it, then we'll add the other.
Okay.
Be fair.
Okay, I'll add that on.
Okay, and then last thing, the EMA board had an emergency meeting yesterday. They voted that John Hickey does want to move to the Bezetta Fire Department. Commissioner Bernard and myself had informational meetings last week with the coroner and looked at the EMA space. We've already collectively looked at with Daryl the fire department space. So I would like to move on that. Now I would like to make a motion that we move EMA to the old Bezetta Fire Department, and we make movement to move the coroner permanently into the EMA building. Everything that the coroner said fits. He wants to be there to retool it based on his conversation with the architect. It's gonna save us a ton of money. We already own the building. And the biggest thing he needs there is half a day's construction work and HVAC, and then he's ready to go.
I have a question. Is his whole office gonna move there as well?
Yes.
Or is, okay, so the
Yep.
whole office is gonna move from Youngstown
And they've
Road?
got plenty of space and they don't even have to build
Because I'm
another.
gonna move utility things from.
Okay, and like I said, they're the ones that without air conditioning right now, and it literally, this whole move can be complete probably within a month or two. If Mr. Hickey gets on the other building, it's about $300,000 to move to the other building. We are banking on, we're gonna be able to use ARPA money for that, and I would say we start in that direction, at least make the vote to move in that direction, and then with the corner, he's in there now with no modifications.
Right.
The staff is good, but we can make, at least say that's where the coroner's home is gonna be, check that off our list. And then we're gonna work with the opioid money and the attorneys to make sure there's legality there of getting him in there, whether we use some of that opioid money to matching grants from Ohio Foundation to get some of that money back, or whether we use it all right out of there. The architect estimates gonna be between 500 and 800,000 total, all in, to make that building ready to go for the coroner to be working permanently there.
One
with the staff.
idea you might wanna check is see if there's a difference in the rules of using either state opioid money or the national opioid money. It might be easier to use the state opioid money, and there's plenty of money there for it.
We have millions, we just got another 2.5 on our way. And if we use 500,000, even if we use the 800,000, it gets the coroner in a permanent situation. And it's just time. It's absolutely time to do it, and we have the opportunity. I don't think we need to sit on our heels anymore. let's check that off the list and move forward with it, and then worry about 911 in the dark about.
Well, the only thing I think it's gonna cost a little more than that, is when we move EMA or whatever, the sheriff needs a garage for all his equipment.
That was included in, that was included.
No, it's gonna be a little bit more than that, 300,000.
Well, depending, sheriff had his specs of what he wanted,
Well,
and EMA had his specs of what he could do.
It has to be so he can use it, so I mean, but irregardless, I think that's the best financial move for us, all right? We already have EMA building, we have a building for him to go to, he's willing to go to it, and then instead of us spending $2.5 million for the corner, I think we can get it for much less than that, especially if we can use, some of the opioid money. Plus, and then there's that other one, what's that, Nation One or?
There's national and
Yeah.
state.
And there's a state pocket that we probably.
The state, there's plenty of money in there.
And we already have the building, so, we front loaded some of this.
Yeah, we own them both, so it's.
So, we've already put
No, right.
money into it, so, and I think that's the one, because it has to be done. We all know that.
Maybe consider
And EMA's willing to move.
And do that at the same time, like Sharon just said, and let's talk to Port Authority, put Chestnut up for sale. Let's get that off our hands.
And I talked to Anthony about that last week. And we have Cato Consultant here that we need to talk to them after this meeting to make sure that, everything else is moving along. So I agree. I think it has to be done. The corners, he's been more than gracious for over a year in the conditions that he's had to work in.
I agree.
And we need a motion for that though?
I think we do. I think we probably should, that, because we are moving and expending money. We're allowing John Hickey to start moving in that direction and getting estimates and expending money to retool that building. That's gonna be the first priority. Of course, it would seal the deal if we had that letter right now, but if we don't have a letter, I'm willing to say, let's do it, and I think we could.
Well, supposedly there was a commitment, verbal commitment. That we could do it.
Okay.
I mean.
I agree.
And you heard it.
I
and
agree.
heard it, so. All we need, so.
I don't, if they're making a motion.
Stacy?
Are you making?
Are you making
If you
a
need to make a motion, I'll wait. I just have a question.
Somebody
What's-
was sucking.
Oh, are we?
Penny made the motion.
I make a motion, we move
Well,
EMA
that would
to
be for
the
next
center
week, that
fire
would be for
department.
tomorrow.
Let's do it tomorrow. Why not do it tomorrow? She can write it up. Let's
Is
do
that
it.
what I said? Yeah, we don't need to make the motion now. Yeah,
Well, if I make it now, we second, it gives her time to write it up. If I make it from the floor tomorrow, it's not written on the agenda.
well, she's not gonna put it on the agenda.
Well, that's why I'm doing it now. So she can put it on the agenda.
You don't have-
Yeah, we're not voting on it. We're just voting on to put it on the thing. So make a motion that we put it on the agenda to move
Right.
EMA to the Open Center Fire Department and move the coroner permanently into the EMA building on North River. And how do you say?
Second.
Oh, second motion.
We got two questions.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes. Stacy?
Casey McDonough, 911 director. I don't mean to be a squeaky wheel, but I just have a question. What are the requirements for the opioid money? Because I'm not familiar with the specifics of that. Like, I know you have to have some relation to the opiates, obviously coroner would correlate because drug overdoses, jail would, but would 911 as well, because we received the calls of overdoses?
Oh,
and
we
deal with-
believe you would,
Yeah.
but right now that's where we're waiting for consultants
Okay.
to reach out on grants. They said it would be confirmed if we were getting matching grants from the state, from the opioid funds in the state. That would kind of be their official blessing that you could do that. Otherwise, the attorneys that we talked to said they believe we could, but there isn't anything, it says in there what we can't use it for.
Kind of the gray area.
This is gray area, but it does tie in you as much as coroner. I believe that we're good from the talks we had with the attorney. He believes we're good, but it would be nice if we had that extra little blessing from the state, which we're waiting on. And if that's the case, then we got the money to move it.
And then I was just gonna tag team onto that. I'm assuming if you're doing the move with the coroner to the EMA and you're gonna save about $1 million to $1.5 million potentially, would that free up $1 million, $1.5 million for us to get into the bank building? Because My guess is that's where we're gonna fall probably for renovations for that, and being that we've spent the money that you guys have budgeted us the last 2 years, redoing all of our systems internally to kind of save money. Realistically, all we need is a building renovated and furniture.
Well, realistically, we have to get the prosecutor's office to say that we can.
Right, you're waiting for
Yes.
legal, if,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
let's don't put the cart before the horse.
Right.
Let's just take
We were
one
hoping
step at
you'd
a
be
time,
here today.
okay?
so was I, that's why I'm here,
Yeah.
cause I won't be in town next Tuesday.
Well, I mean, we know what needs to be done. We just need to figure out how we're gonna do it and we're gonna get the funds, but we're working on it. So,
The corner is a big deal today. That's 30% of the main monkey that's been on our back. You're the next 30%, I believe. And the dog pound is equal, of course, but that's something where I believe we need to have serious talks, dog pound wise, of starting the campaign. We know where the dog pound's gonna go. We got the architect's rendition. We need the funds. And we could start that with a community campaign, just like they do with many other dog pounds, many other places. But we need to do that in correlation with what we're doing. So we know how much the county has.
but I think.
And if
I
we're
think
gonna get
not
money from the
interrupt you, but I think we need to give our grants people some time to research some different avenues for us. You know, the good thing that we did point out for the EMA and the corner, you know, we're trying to do that
Listen,
with no county funds and no tax increases, okay? And that's a big issue.
And no loan.
And no loan. And that's the big issue. And that's why I say we have to sometimes slow down, take our time. But we just saved county probably maybe $3 million on both these moves.
And I believe we've got about $7 million in opium money and the state has 70% of that. We got 30, the state got 70. We have to grant towards it. And what we've been advised is we're gonna put up maybe 2.5 of ours to see if we get a match back or a double match back, maybe 7 or 5 million back. And if that happens, we paid for you out of opioid, we still got more than half the money to go into programs. And we've got all of our problems taken care of.
I appreciate all that. My only follow-up is I realize you need to take time to get those answers. My one request would be if we could get the answer from legal on whether we could actually move to the health
Yes.
department soon, because the consultants are asking me when we can start back up. And the longer we delay, the more
We'll
we're
tell
looking
them when
at.
they can start back.
I understand that, but they've been waiting since last September. We were
Well,
already in that.
If we had
process.
the answer today, I'd be ready to vote, but we don't have the answer.
That's where I'm getting at, is just, obviously, that's gonna be, a few months of time to do the structural engineering, and things to find out what that cost will be that we will need, so along, we can lay on that.
Good news is you should have clean smelling air today after yesterday. We hope.
100% thanks to Servpro for getting those things in there. I've worked there 2 years now and it didn't smell that good the day I moved in, so it's definitely better.
Well, in all fairness, I think we need a big thank you for Alex. She got on it last week. She was out there in overtime and she got the ball moving for us. And so, like I said the other day, we have to know problem exists before we can correct it. So we need a better line of communication. Once we found that out, we got on it, we got to correct it.
Right. And with that, there is,
Okay.
the problem's been fixed, but also the carpets need scrubbed, the vents need cleaned out. We are gonna move forward with that. So even if you guys are there for 6 months, a year or whatever, they're gonna get better breathing conditions in the next week.
Commissioners, all of that has been detailed out and just to be clear, that has been talked through the evening. So I know everybody sits here and kind of sometimes at times not here, but watching wonders, what does that have to do with HR? Health and safety has everything to do with HR. Our building in coordination with, our maintenance department. The small things do matter. We can, as long as we continue to work towards a common goal. We know that you don't want to be there forever. I don't think anybody was ever saying we want you to be there forever. This is just to make sure that you can work there for now and that you're in the safest environment. And then when the board can, they'll get you to your next step. But one thing that I'm just sitting back here, sometimes, again, we put the cart before the horse. We just need to make sure everything's legally compliant. We've gone through everything. The funding can be used for, when you're dealing with restricted funding, we have to do what we have to do up front. Otherwise, it could be detrimental to the county on the back end. So we just need to make sure everything's done right, done compliantly. And I think what you're hearing here, why it's so calm, is that we're all marching towards that common goal. So that's great.
I agree. Well stated, Alex.
Again, thank you.
Welcome. Yes, thank you.
And
It's all finally starting to fall into place.
every.
Budget wise, the 3 main monkeys on our back, All the stuff we've been working on for 7 months is all finally starting to materialize. That's positive for Trumbull County. Then you get the news with Foxconn, Kimberly Clark's trucking away. You know, we're poor today, then we're gonna be tomorrow. I firmly believe that.
Oh, speaking of Kimberly Clark, I'm sorry, Sheridan Taylor Commissioner's Office. They will be installing, Kimberly Clark paper towels and installing paper towels from Kimberly Clark. We are saving like $22 a case by going this route, so thank you, Commissioner Bernard.
Supporting a company that is.
Yes, they're
supporting our
coming.
economy.
Yes,
That's what the commissioners,
yes.
if you recall, this is why we called them in and we wanted to, and they actually were kind of surprised by it. I'm like,
And they think.
what are you surprised by?
I think
I mean,
that's just for trying to do it.
right, we want to utilize your product. I mean, if anybody's supporting our county. we want them
Hopefully
to
the
support
schools and everybody else will.
Right,
That's what I.
we're
hope.
getting it through Staples, which is state purchasing.
That's amazing. So the
And
schools.
and maybe
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
else can follow suit,
Could be the KC.com.
maybe get the city of Warren, the city of Warren could do it also.
I know.
That's a good idea.
So, and they do have, also some hand soaps and that kind of thing, so we will expand our product line as we move along.
Sure, is that all business?
Yes,
All business.
it's all of our buildings. And yours. Oh, good. I like the savings is significant,
That's even better.
that's, yeah,
That's more for the maintenance budget then.
There you go.
that's right.
Gain $5 back per paper towel roll in the county dispenser.
I'll leave it. One thing I got too. What are we doing in sanitary? I saw that Gary has a recommendation of hires. Let's get clear on what we're doing. We're filling, McCoskey was moved up. We are filling the position of the next guy that's retiring now. We gave him approval to do that last week. And then these other positions that resigned today, we're given permission to fill those because they're not new positions. Let's make it clear so Gary knows and Bob knows what we're approving.
Commissioners altogether. Fully staffed out there is 5 engineers at Bayonne. Right now, we have 3. Chuck Miller is leaving, at least myself and Bill McCoskey. We need Chuck Miller's replacement and at least 1 more. And that was recommended by the board. I can hold off on that 5th one for a while, but I would like to bring in replacement for Chuck Miller, and I need that other engineer to make up for my loss of Scott Burner.
When's in it?
Last meeting, the Chuck Miller replacement. Is that the one that you said there was an intern you want to move up? We said you
Yeah,
gotta post
I
it.
was trying to get somebody in there before Chuck left.
I got it.
And so I was seeing, we can't do it, I accept that.
Well, we said you can post it the right way for the Chuck Miller thing at the last meeting. This other one, this 4th one, we didn't discuss that one.
Okay, that was
How
for,
much money do we have? Where's your salary account at?
Bob.
I mean, we're better than, we haven't filled a lot of jobs, so we're spending less. I'm not sure what our percentage is, but our salary is lower than it's been.
I know, but how much is left in your account?
I don't
Well,
We can't make a decision until we know that, Bob. You know that. We-
I mean, I don't want to pass an increase on to the residents, then turn around and hire people.
All right, well, Commissioner, you have to remember water, the water fund only pays about 1/3 of whatever this salary is going to be, so keep that in mind.
Well-
Sewer fund's doing great right now.
Well, are you requesting for these people in the sewer fund or in the water fund?
They will be paid about, 2/3, 1/3.
Well, get us the figures and let us look at them. And let us know where we are financially.
Okay.
Then let's go ahead with the Chuck Miller replacement posting. And then the next one, let's discuss when you get the figure of where we are salary wise, within your budget.
Well, so I guess to Bob Meyer, I know sanitary engineers, currently through Alex, I have submitted her 7 jobs that we have open right now. The first 2 are, we'll say 4 of them are union jobs that are all replacements of current jobs.
Which, I just want to be clear, which the board has no issues with, is that correct? Because unfortunately, I have to play man in the middle, we post these jobs and does all that work.
not only is it cumbersome for me and my team if we don't need to, or if that's not what the board wishes to do, but I just want to be transparent too and make sure we're all on the same page before we go forward with anything. Specifically, commissioners, when I post union jobs, that becomes very complex. So the minute that union job's posted, we need to fill it. If we posted it, that means that it should have gone through the proper vetting up front, that we should have made sure the funds were there, so on and so forth. By the time
And
it
probably
hits
gonna
our-
lose somebody from another department, which is gonna cause even more. work.
Potentially, yeah, with it all being 24/93, we see a lot of coming and going, getting, and that's great. I mean, hey, first, it is what it is, that's the right. But I wanna be super clear, because I don't want the board to come back to HR and say, whoa, why'd you post this position? That's
I
not,
agree with that.
because I'm in the middle of between, and I support Gary, I support Bob. But again, I'm not asking those questions, that's between you and them, and once it comes to me, I do.
That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah.
Well, I personally, I'd like to see what the position is, when it was last, filled, okay, how long's it been vacant? And how much funds, where are the funds coming from to substantiate that position? And what department, whether it's water or sewer or what, those are things we need to know.
I think, Bob, if you could,
And then it needs to come to us, and then if we give the okay, then it can go to HR.
and I think the biggest thing, Bob, is to definitely highlight, because I had you put it in writing, which was great. There is a substantial need, immediate need. I think you need to look at it immediate, short-term, long-term. There's an immediate need. I mean, outside of engineers, the biggest issue I see is with your billing department. If you don't have anybody to process the bills, which we are now down to 1 employee. Okay, now that happened quick because we just had a resignation on today's agenda. But that is an immediate need. If we're getting behind, or if we're, we don't have the people, that needs to be your prioritized starting ground. Then from there, but you can't.
Well, again, if you had 2 building clerks and one just resigned.
Yep.
Then I think that's an automatically refill.
I agree.
So 3 of the 4 union positions would support our billing process.
Correct.
And the other person is the maintenance gentleman that just left on Friday.
So
That maintains our wastewater treatment. So that's the 4 union positions that we currently have.
So we've no issue there.
It's a meter reader, it's a biller, and it's a loader position in the office, which all relate to billing. Then
And those all just happen relatively.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Then the 3, we'll say, non-union jobs are all related to Gary's engineering. One of them is an assistant wastewater superintendent. Bill Durst has informed us he'll be retiring at the end of the year. He's our current superintendent. We intend to move up the assistant wastewater superintendent. Will take over Bill's spot. So we will need new assistant wastewater superintendent. Those positions typically take months to find somebody because we're looking for a civil engineer, preferably with a wastewater 3 or 4 license, which are few and far between. The reality is we're hoping we can find somebody with a civil engineering degree, and then we will train them. And then the other 2, I have a project engineer 1 and a project engineer 2, and that is replacing basically Bill McCoskey's position, moved up for Scott, and then someone replacing Chuck. So that's the 7 jobs that we're currently looking for. The 3 engineering jobs, being the superintendent, assistant superintendent, and 2 project engineers, are probably a 2 to 3 month ordeal just to find. So they're kind of posted with the hope that we get somebody qualified to apply.
Do the budgetary stuff, bring that back to us next week. And move ahead, like you said, with the one that was approved.
Okay,
Do
Commissioner.
you guys have a date for the next water advisory meeting?
September.
Is it in September?
I don't know.
I don't have it in front of me.
I think it's September though.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Commissioner
Commissioner,
Green has something else, Mr. Chairman.
no, I wanted to real quickly. Um. If I could find it, I just deleted it. Wanted to read something real quick to the commissioners. And it's loading. I think we all know who Dan Rivers is, former talk show host on 57. And there was a little blurb that I caught. Denny, I know you caught it. I don't know if Commissioner Bernard caught it. Dan Rivers, just to sum it up a little bit here, Kimberly Clark is a go. All team appears to be growing in employment. And if the commissioners can land the Foxconn expansion, home building and expansion of the economy will follow. Nice work by Commissioners Denny Malloy, Tony Bernard, and Rick Hernandez. Now he goes on to say that these are the kind of things that they would hope for in the Mahoney County, even though we know we're working with those commissioners in Mahoney County. Not very often where the commissioners can, not to toot my own horn, but I think the commissioners, we're doing our work and our job to create a dynamic that will allow economic expansion, jobs. Hopefully the hospital deal goes through here. We'll see what happens with that. We have a meeting shortly, but I think the commissioners should be commended for their work and what we've been doing. And a lot of people tell you, if you listen to Ron Verb and he mentions about what a commissioner makes, he says, those guys come and go as they please. They don't do much work. Spend a week with the commissioners and spend a week with these phones. We might not be in that office 24/7, but this phone rings all day long. So sometimes you just got to put things like that out there. And I think the commissioners, should be at least commended to a certain degree when these types of things, these expansions are moving forward our way. So, okay.
We're starting to get inundated with the barrage of calls on electricity also. If you're one of the people out there, why is my electric bill gone up so much? We've been talking about this for months. Call the electric company, get yourself in an aggregate. If you didn't sign up in an aggregate, the people under us, we got the lowest rate we could possibly negotiate for the citizens of the county. We couldn't do any better rate than that. We shopped it around. We did full due diligence. We're paying it too in our personal homes. This is something that's 19 state. It affects 19 states in the fact. And until they start building more electric plants, we're going to be paying higher electricity bills. Coal mines were shut down. The coal plants were shut down, and then the gas hasn't built itself back up yet. So we're paying the price for that right now with higher electric rates. It has nothing to do with the commissioners or the county.
No.
Or even the state for that matter. This is something that the electric companies got us by the gotcha right now, and until they start producing more energy, we're all in the same boat.
I look like you're ready to make a mind.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Sorry, I had something on.
Oh.
Not for your turn.
Motion on adjourn.
I've got 3 items that we're excited about.
Okay.
We have to. You have to.
Yeah, that's fine. This is just information. Our own town review, the awesome site. So, this one is by our office. So one of the commissioners want to come with that's fine. So we probably consider the meeting you be the whole time, but maybe at 8 o'clock or just a visit. Let you know what's going on. Once I know exactly what's going on, and have an agenda play call. So that was the one thing. Now the second is there's a coordination plan I've talked about this. There is gonna be a coordination public meeting August 20th at the Western Reserve Independent Living Center. So last time I was here, I asked if I could put this on commissioner's website, and I send this to Lisa, have her, it's on the website. Okay, so that's the coordination plan, that's how we get the 50%. And the final thing I just had was Darwin. Darwin's last day is gonna be August 30th, August 31st. So I have a meeting with the vendors next Tuesday, to verify where people will be going. People have already started moving around, but we're gonna get the rest of the people. So just want to give you a quick update on those 3 things.
Yeah, your patient sits back there, Mike.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
Thank you.
Second,
Mr. Bernard.
Yeah.
Mr. Malloy.
yes.
Mr. Hernandez.